All right, it is 7 p.m. and I'd like to call this meeting to order. While this meeting is being held in person, we are also offering the option to participate via Zoom if preferred. Instructions on how to participate virtually are included in the City Council calendar item listed on the front page of missionks.org. Please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Justin, please call the roll.
Hayden Chomposi,
Here.
Cabosa,
Here.
Ryherd,
Here.
Kring,
Here.
Schmid.
Here.
All right, we have two special presentations this evening. The first is a proclamation recognizing 7 days, make a ripple, change the world. 7 Days overcomes hate by promoting kindness and understanding through education and dialogue. This year, 7 Days marks its 11th anniversary of promoting kindness. You can find opportunities on how to participate by visiting the website at www.7days.org. Together, we can make a ripple of kindness to change the world. Thanks to the organization for all the work you are doing to promote kindness. And do we have a representative from the organization? I think we were expecting someone, but maybe they couldn't make it. So thank you, 7 Days. Our second special presentation tonight is a proclamation which recognizes Fair Housing Month in Mission. This April marks 59 years since the signing of the Federal Fair Housing Act. It is important that we recognize and raise awareness of each individual's rights under fair housing. We are committed to equal housing opportunities in our community, and I am honored to proclaim April as Fair Housing Month in the City of Mission. Next, we would move into public hearings. We do not have any public hearings or items related to the issuance of notes and bonds on our agenda this evening, so we will move to our consent agenda. Our consent agenda has 5 items tonight. Our council committees met on March 4th and fully discussed each of these items. The committees agreed that the items listed on our consent agenda are routine enough to be considered under a single motion. If a council member or member of the public would like an item removed from the consent agenda, they may request that at this time. If not, I would entertain a motion to approve.
Mayor,
I move that the City Council adopt the consent agenda as printed, items 4A through 4E.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, Justin, please call the roll.
Hayden Chomposi,
Aye.
Kring,
Aye.
Ryherd,
Aye.
Schmid,
Aye.
Camosa.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Right, we would next move into public comments. If any members of the public would like to make a comment on an item not included on our agenda tonight, now would be the time. Seeing none, we'll move into our action items. First, we have 4 items coming forward tonight from our Planning Commission. The first is for consideration of a lot split at 5618 Reeds. Let's see, and Taylor, are you giving the report?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you. Good evening, council. The first case we have tonight is the lot split of a large parcel of property located at 5618 Reeds Road. Currently, the lot is 0.4 acres in size, and there's a approximately 1,400 square foot home that sits on the southern portion of that lot. So it's been purchased by James Ingle Custom Homes, and they are requesting to split the lot into 2 individual parcels. And then their intent is to build 2 single-family homes and sell them once that's complete. The proposed homes are just over 1,800 square feet with 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. There'll be 2 stories, and each will have a 2-car attached garage. So for residential lot splits, our code stipulates that when you split the lot, if the new lots that you create are under 70 feet wide, you have to go and look at the whole block and make sure that it's not really outsized with the other lots in the block. So you have to take the average lot width of all of the lots in the block, and it has to be at least 75% of that average lot width. So we looked at that for this lot between 56th and 57th, and then Outlook and Reeds. And the average lot width is just over 76 feet, and 75% of that would be 57.3 feet. That would be the minimum for these lots. And the new lots proposed by James Ingle Custom Homes are 62.5 feet. So that does meet our code requirements. And based on our analysis, staff and the Planning Commission recommend approval of this item.
All right, thank you. Do we have any member of the public who would like to comment on this issue? Seeing none, we would open it up for any council questions or comments. Yeah, Debbie, do you have a question for Taylor?
Feedback from the neighbors?
No, we haven't heard any, and we do send out notices to residents within 200 feet. We actually have a planning commissioner who would be in the vicinity, and she said she liked the idea and thinks it will be a good addition to the neighborhood, but otherwise we heard nothing.
Thank you.
All right, anything else? Seeing no further comment, I would entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move the city council approve the lot split for 5618 Reeds.
Okay.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Justin, please call the roll.
Ryhard,
Aye.
Hayden Chompozy,
Aye.
Kring,
Aye.
Gamosa,
Aye.
Schmid.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you. And I think we may have had someone come in related to the 7 Days organization. Is that correct? Nope, nope. All right. Okay, next, sorry, everybody. Next, we will have our second item coming forward from the Planning Commission, which is for consideration of rezoning of 5801 and 5805 Knoll Avenue. Let's see, Taylor, again, will you please provide your report?
Yes, so the next two cases are related to the same development. The first presentation will just be for the rezoning of that property. We will get to the preliminary development plan in the next case. I'll still answer any questions happily, but just to keep it organized. So this project site currently consists of two single-family homes, two residential lots at the southeast corner of Knoll Avenue and 58th Street. The site totals 0.44 acres, so just under half an acre. And currently there are two homes on site that the applicant is planning to remove. The home that's located on the southern portion of the site at 5805 Knoll has been used as an office for a landscaping company. 5801 is the home of the person who previously owned the landscaping company. And these properties are currently zoned MS2 or Main Street District 2. And this is the same applicant who previously completed the Mission Vale townhomes, the 19 townhome unit just up the street. So they are requesting a rezoning from MS2 to the downtown neighborhood district. And this is a lot like what we talked about with the Encore development next to the lanes. So as you all know from those previous cases, the stipulation for MS2 is that the multifamily developments have to have some commercial component to them. So they're requesting a rezoning to D&D because those two parcels have never really achieved that intended use of the mixed use vertically integrated site. 5801 Knoll remains a single family home, and the next one is still a single family home but just serves as an office. So the applicant believes that this site is better suited to a higher density residential neighborhood district, and that's why they're requesting the zoning to D&D. The intent of our D&D zoning is to encourage private and public investment, unique living environments, a variety of housing styles that support the downtown business district on Johnson Drive, and to stabilize our single-family neighborhoods. So this permits a wide variety of residential uses, from single-family homes to townhomes and multifamily housing. And it also serves as a transition area, a buffer between like the single-family homes just across the street, which is, I think, technically Roeland Park. And then you have the flats now of a higher density residential development, and then the commercial area further south on Johnson Drive. So based on our analysis of all of those elements, based on our previous experience with the Mission Vale Phase 1 rezoning, staff and the Planning Commission also recommend approval of this case.
Right, thank you. Do we have any member of the public who would like to comment on this issue? Seeing none, we'll open the floor for council discussion. Any comments or questions for Taylor
The applicant's also.
or for the applicant? Yeah.
When the developer went to the property owners of 5801 and 5805, was there any backlash or anything about
Great
selling the
question.
property?
Hi, my name's Scott Koenigsdorf, 4722 West 68th Street, Prairie Village, Kansas. The seller of both properties approached me. They were using the northern home as a rental, and then the southern home was rented as a business to a landscaper.
Thank you.
Right. Any further questions? I would entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move city council approve the preliminary development plan.
Nope.
Oh, sorry,
So-
sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. Mayor, I move the city council approve the rezoning of 5801 and 5805 Knoll Avenue from Main Street 2 District MS2 to Downtown Neighborhood District D&D.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Justin, please call the roll.
Kring,
Aye.
Schmid,
Aye.
Camosa,
Aye.
Ryhard,
Aye.
Hayden Chompozy.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right. Our next item coming forward from the Planning Commission is for consideration of a preliminary development plan for the Mission Vale Townhomes Phase 2 project. Taylor, will you please provide your report?
Sure. Okay, so this is the PDP for the previous rezoning case. Just brief highlights again, 5801, 5805 Knoll. Currently 2 single-family homes, one's being used as a business. And our developer, Koenig Building and Construction, would like to construct 9 townhomes that are very similar in style, as you can see, to the current Mission Vale development. That is a 19-unit development at Knoll and 58 Terrace. The units are 2-bed, 2.5 bath, with a 1-car garage for each unit. And then there's additional parking behind the townhomes. The applicant has purchased these lots with the intention of removing the homes and constructing another 9 units, the same style. And we already talked about the rezoning. The proposed improvements includes 7 of the townhomes will go along Knoll and then 2 on 58th Street. They will share a drive. There's only one ingress egress out of the property right off of 58th, and then that shared parking in the southeast corner of the property. And there are 7 stalls in that parking lot. And then in the very corner, in the southeast corner of the property, there will be a stormwater detention basin added to capture runoff from the increased impervious surface area of the project. There will be a concrete pad with mailboxes and a bike rack installed on 58th Street north of the units. I'm doing this like I'm right next to it. I'm not. So, and then a 6-foot white privacy fence will be installed on the eastern property line to provide a screening for the residential houses. And with this application, the applicant will require a variance from our zoning code for parking by 2 units. Even if the rezoning hadn't been approved, both of them for these units would require 2 off-street parking spots per unit. That would be a total of 18. We have 16. So the approval of this PDP would be approving the variance of 2 spaces. And based on analysis by our staff and our consulting engineers, along with the Planning Commission, we recommend approval of this case.
Great, thank you. Do we have any member of the public who would like to comment on this topic? Seeing none, I'll open it up for council discussion. Any comments or questions for staff or the developer? Yeah, we'll go Brian, then Debbie.
This is actually not my question. This is Wanda's question, but she is not here. And so wanted to just remember that during the Finance and Administration Committee meeting last week, or I guess the Community Development meeting, she had questions around the performance of the stormwater collection basin. And I do not know if those were addressed to her individually. I'm just bringing it up because she brought it up and she's not here to do so.
Which one? Anything from Mr. Scott?
Mr.
Scott. Scott. Mr. Scott. So that was Mr. Scott.
Okay, so whenever there's a development, we want to be sure that there's not going to be additional stormwater runoff from the property, from the development. So we asked the developer to do a stormwater study for us, showing the existing amount of impervious surface and any additional impervious surface that's going to be a result of the development. And we want to make sure that But there's no runoff, it's additional runoff is occurring. And if there is, how's that going to be contained on the site? So that's kind of where we start with. In this particular case, there's kind of the front yard and the backyard of 5801, which is mostly grass or pervious surface. Within the property to the south, 5805, I believe, is the address, where the landscaping business is located. It has that large kind of paved area in the backyard. They essentially paved over their backyard and turned it into kind of a parking area and storage lot. So Mr. Caningdore's project will pretty much pave over the entire site. So he's gonna have the buildings and, the parking lot in the back. So there's gonna be a lot more impervious surface than what's there now. So then the question becomes, how's he gonna contain that? So with the study, they looked at the amount of runoff that's there right now, and then the amount of runoff that'll be there after the improvements are made. And they looked at a 1-year storm event, a 10-year storm event, and a 100-year storm event. And this kind of described that those terms are descriptors for the amount frequency of a rainfall event within a given year. So a 1-year storm event, there's going to be a 100% probability that you'll have a rain event occur during that year. With a 10-year storm event, there's going to be a 10% probability that it will occur during a given year. And then 100% or 100-year storm event, there'll be a 1% probability. So that's your real severe rain events that occur once in a rare blue moon. So they kind of examine the runoff based on those 3 storm events. And sure enough, there's more runoff with the impervious surface. But what they're doing is they're creating a detention basin in the back. So they're capturing all that runoff and they're detaining it in that detention basin. And then they're going to allow it to slowly release into the storm sewer. The storm sewer, mostly after the event passes. So I think kind of a good descriptor, we had this rain event last night. Wow, it's a real gully washer. That wasn't even a 10-year event. We had a total of 1 inch. So I think Councilmember Vaughn's concern was more about, what about these severe rain events where you get 4 or 5 inches? Well, the system's been designed to capture that stormwater in those types of events. So.
Thank you.
And I'm just going to confirm.
I would agree.
I just want to confirm with like a single sentence of how this structure functions, because I think that also was part of the confusion that we had in the committee meeting. It's basically a gigantic reservoir, and it holds the larger amount of water than we expected and gently lets it out over time so it doesn't overflow the existing systems.
Right. So it's going to be a grass detention area at the corner of the parking lot. Just kind of
A wash.
yeah, it was like, it's like divot's not the right word, but it's kind of a basin that's grass. And at the bottom of that basin is going to be an orifice, kind of a small drain. And during a severe storm event, that basin is going to fill up. And then it's going to slowly drain through that orifice. And it's going to drain along the south side of the property line through a pipe, 12-inch pipe, where it's going to connect to the storm sewer in the street.
Mhm.
Then it'll drain south and then connect to our storm system.
Perfect.
So the idea is to capture all that water, keep it on site, then slowly release it. Really after the rain events pass, that's when the system kind of flushes through, then all that can be released.
Perfect.
Very slowly.
Thank you.
And so the thought being, and I learned this from my previous developer husband, because I always get retention and detention confused. But detention, he always reminds me, is think D for dry. So the majority of the time, the intent would be for this grassy area to be dry, except in those larger rain events.
Yeah, Debbie, do you have a question?
Based on that picture, relationship wise, where is the detention pond in concert with the parking?
It's going to be the southeast corner.
Southeast corner of the parking lot.
Point out where the parking is from there.
Right there.
It's right next to it. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Which if I believe from the report, the roof drains and the parking lot are intended to drain into that detention basin.
Everything in front of the buildings facing Knoll will drain out to Knoll naturally. It's gonna be your front yards and the porches along the front of the building, that will all drain out to Knoll naturally. But then everything else behind the front of the building will be captured through roof gutters and drains and collected. Directed to that detention basin.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, seeing none, I would entertain a motion.
Go for it.
Or that one. Mayor, I move the city council approve the preliminary development plan for Mission Vale Townhomes Phase 2, project at 5801 and 5805 Knoll Avenue.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Justin, please call the roll.
Camosa,
Aye.
Schmid,
Aye.
Hayden Chompozy,
Aye.
Kring,
Aye.
Ryhard,
Aye.
motion carries.
All right, thank you, Mr. Koenigsdorf, for coming tonight. Looking forward to seeing phase 2. Our next item coming forward from the Planning Commission is for a final plat for the Encore project at the 5200 block of Mart Way. Let's see, Taylor, will you provide your report?
Yes, you're almost done with me. So this is the final plat for the Encore development, and normally final plats don't come to council. This one is coming to you because it involves a dedication of right-of-way to the city. So it takes council action to accept that right-of-way dedication. So the Encore development, again, just a little review for our millions of listeners at home, includes a 4-story apartment building, 180 units, 5-level parking garage with 241 stalls. And this plat combines the 5 parcels between the lanes and row into a single lot to clean up the development. It also dedicates about 14.5 feet of right-of-way along Martway Street to the city of Mission. And that really covers the sidewalk and the on-street parking spaces so that we still have access to those. There will be a maintenance agreement for the on-street parking spaces provided to us further along in the development. And the plat also updates the existing drainage easements on the property. So the drainage easement along the southern portion, which includes Rock Creek, it varies in width across the site. In general, it'll be reduced from 65 feet to about 60 feet on the western side, and then narrowed to about 50 feet on the eastern side of the property. And there's a section of the easement that runs north and south that will be vacated as part of the plat adoption. That is abandoned, was Johnson County, I think it was storm sewer, right, Brian? That abandoned easement. Or wastewater, excuse me. Yes. That has been abandoned and is not in use. So we also ran this through our consulting surveyors, and based on their review, our review, and the Planning Commission, we would recommend approval of this final plat.
All right, thank you. Do we have any member of the public who would like to comment on this issue? Seeing none, we'll open the floor for council discussion. Any comments or questions for Taylor? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move the city council accept the Encore final plat with dedications for right-of-way and easements as so noted on the plat.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any final discussion? Seeing none, Justin, please call the roll.
Hayden Chompozy,
Aye.
Ryhard,
Aye.
Camosa, Schmid,
Aye.
Kring,
Aye.
motion carries.
Thank you. All right, we will now move into our committee reports. Councilmember Schmidt, will you please provide a report from the Finance and Administration Committee?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. The Finance and Administration Committee met on March 4th and considered 3 items. The meeting minutes and resolution for city-sponsored festivals and events were approved under the consent agenda earlier tonight. A resolution calling public hearing on tax increment financing project plan for the Encore development project will be considered under the regular agenda this evening. which is this item, the resolution calling the public hearing on TIF project plan Encore Development Project. Sunflower Development Group is nearing completion of securing all zoning entitlements for construction of a 180-unit multifamily project known as Encore. The project, which will comprise 5 parcels from the lanes east to Roeland Drive, will include a 5-story parking structure situated between the lanes and the new building. The apartment building will be 4 stories and is expected to include a mix of studio, 1 and 2 bedroom units, along with other amenities, including a pool, work facilities, and a conference/office area. The developer has also submitted a TIF redevelopment project plan. State statutes requiring the Planning Commission to review the plan and to find it in conformance with the city's comprehensive land use plan before the council may consider taking action. The Planning Commission considered the TIF redevelopment project plan at their January 26, 2026 meeting and found it to be in conformance. The council is required to conduct a public hearing on the TIF redevelopment project plan prior to taking any final action to improve incentives. This resolution sets the date and time for this public hearing at 7:00 p.m. at the May 20th, 2026 City Council meeting. Adopting this resolution only commits the council to the date and time for the public hearing and nothing more. Mayor, I move the City Council approve the resolution calling the public hearing for May 20th, 2026 to consider adoption of the tax increment financing redevelopment project plan for Rock Creek Redevelopment District number 3C.
Second.
Right, we have a motion and a second. Do we have any public comment on this topic? Yeah, Laura?
No, no.
Yep. Yes?
Just a couple of things I think we've talked about, and I was going to save it to my report, but it's probably more relevant for me to say it here. The council work session scheduled for Wednesday, March 25th, and one of the things we will do there is we will have both members of our team from Gilmore and Bell, our bond counsel, and Bruce Kimmel with Ellers, our financial advisor, to just give a broad overview of both tax increment financing and tax abatement, not related to any specific project, but sort of the mechanics of how those incentive tools work from Gilmore and Bell's perspective. And then Mr. Kimmel will share kind of the factors that go into his financial analysis along and the pro formas that he reviews, and then ultimately the information that comes back to you. So we'll that's step 1 in setting the table, which I think will be helpful as we move forward in considering this request for incentives. And we've also scheduled, I took polls last week, but we are scheduling a work session on April 15th ahead of your regular legislative meeting. Mr. Kimmel will be here in person. He is currently working with the Sunflower Development team through their pro forma, and we would anticipate presenting sort of recommendations and a potential redevelopment agreement on the same May 20th agenda after you conduct the public hearing. That's been our standard practice. And so what we wanted to do on the 20th, so well in advance of that May 20th decision, or April 15th, I apologize, is to come in, let him give you an overview of sort of initially where he is and his analysis of the pro forma, the project's potential need for incentives, and maybe some of the preliminary pieces of negotiation so that we have time to get your input and feedback and continue to work through those issues well in advance of the public hearing with the developer. So I just wanted to make note of those two. And then if we need more time, we will certainly talk about it again at the May 6th committee meetings. But if we need another work session, if you're not ready, again, if the council's not in a position to feel like you have enough information to make a decision on the redevelopment or adoption of the TIF project plan at the meeting where the public hearing is conducted, that's fine. You can continue the public hearing, or you can close the public hearing and table the action to a future date.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? Yeah, Debbie?
Question. Laura, could they come prepared to give us the basic outline of the distinguishing mark between a TIF and a tax abatement, and where the city is more vulnerable on those pathways, please?
Yep, we'll make sure that's part of the work session on the 25th.
Thanks.
Any other comments or questions on this item? Seeing none, Justin, please call the roll.
Hayden Chompozy,
Aye.
Kring,
Aye.
Ryhard,
Aye.
Schmid,
Aye.
Camosa.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And that one item concludes my report.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Ryhard, will you please provide a report from Community Development Committee?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Let's see if I can read through this correctly. All right. The Community Development Committee also met on March 4th and considered 5 items. The meeting minutes, interlocal agreement between the City of Mission, Johnson County, and the City of Roeland Park for Roeland Park's 2026 CARS project. Interlocal agreement between the City of Mission and Roeland Park for Roeland Park's, I'm just repeating, Parks 2026 CARS project and 2026 Reconstruction project inspection task order were approved under the consent agenda earlier tonight. An interlocal agreement with Johnson County for S&P funding for 2026 reconstruction and 2026 Johnson Drive projects will be considered under the regular agenda this evening. We'll move into the interlocal agreement with Johnson County for S&P funding for 2026 street reconstruction and 2026 Johnson Drive projects. Johnson County provides funding assistance for replacing aging stormwater infrastructure with a condition rating above 3.2. This program offers a 50-50 cost share between the county and participating cities for replacing existing infrastructure. In 2025, staff submitted an application to Johnson County to replace all eligible stormwater assets within the 2026 street reconstruction project, the 2026 Johnson Drive CARS project, and other capital projects. The county issued the interlocal agreement in early 2026, and it is now ready for council consideration. The agreement outlines county policies and procedures, details the stormwater system renewal projects, and commits funding contributions. The county will cover up to 50% of the stormwater costs, estimated at $1,581,184. Staff estimates that the total stormwater cost result in a reimbursement of approximately $790,592 from the Johnson County Stormwater Management Program. Of this total amount, $733,401 is attributable to the Johnson Drive project and $57,191 is attributable to the 2026 street reconstruction project. Approval of this agreement enables staff to request reimbursement for eligible stormwater infrastructure costs associated with the 2026 street reconstruction project and the 2026 Johnson Drive CARS project as expenses are incurred. Mayor, I move the City Council approve the interlocal agreement with Johnson County for the 2026 Stormwater System Renewal Project known as the 2026 Mission Street Repairs 1 MI 2026 R2628.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any public comment on this item? Any council comments or questions? Seeing none, Justin, please call the roll.
Ryherd,
Aye.
Green,
Aye.
Camosa,
Aye.
Hayden Chompozy,
Aye.
Schmid,
Aye.
motion carries.
That concludes my report.
All right, thank you. We do not have any unfinished or new business tonight, so we'll move into our comments from the city council. This is an opportunity for comments from our council members. Does anyone on the council have something they'd like to share?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sam.
This is for the public, but Mary and I are hosting a Ward 2 meeting tomorrow at the Powell Community Center from 7 to 8. Those of you who care, KU tips at 8:30, so we'll get out of there right before then. Yeah, invite everyone to join. Thank you.
Perfect. Anything else?
Just a
Yeah,
note,
Debbie?
some of us will be going to the National League of Cities meeting in Washington, DC next week. And we'll be involved. Several of us are on separate committees. And so we'll be bringing back information on those. I know the mayor sits on one, at least one, and I sit on energy, environment, and natural resources. And it's good to bring back some collective ideas from elected officials across the country and what we can do to better improve our sustainable practices.
Yes. All right, thank you. Next, we have our council committee liaison reports. These reports allow the entire governing body to stay up to date with the various activities of our boards, commissions, and committees. First is council member Hayden Chompozy for sustainability.
Yep. So we met on March 2nd, excuse me, and went through a pretty extensive discussion with the folks from Sunflower about the scorecard for Encore, including questions about whether green, what is it? Green Globe, Green Globe or LEED is considered the higher standard, which I didn't know the answer to, and I don't think we have gotten it yet. But it was a really interesting discussion. They had a lot of great questions for the developers there, and also then carried on to discuss a new Green Business Award program that they're discussing at the moment. They want to make sure that there's a way for us to acknowledge and recognize the businesses that we have in town that are doing things in a sustainable way. There is, of course, the difficulty of maintaining that sustainably with their governance as well. And so that's on their radar. They have a planning meeting, I think, this coming weekend. Yeah, this coming Saturday. And so we should hear more about that from them pretty soon. And I'm sure that our new chair is going to come and speak to us any month now. So that is that report.
Great, thank you. Next, we have Councilmember Camosa for Parks, Recreation, and Tree Commission.
Yeah, the Parks, Recreation, and Tree Commission met this past Monday, March 9th. The main thrust of that meeting was drafting the 2026 priorities, which will be presented to City Council at a later date. They also completed their every 2-year appraisal of the city's tree ordinance and continued their review of the 2026 Parks and Recreation budget and capital improvement projects. Other notable items that they discussed were 2 Arbor Day festivals with Rushton Elementary. One is the 5th grade Arbor Day poster contest, which we still have not heard back on the winner. It's under lock and key. No one can know. And then the other is the 2nd grade celebration on April 24th, where the students spend lunch celebrating a newly planted tree at Waterworks Park, and they hang little paper medallions and sign a poster. I'd also be remiss if I didn't remind everyone of the Bunny Egg Extravaganza at Broadmoor Park, which is Saturday, April 4th at 10 a.m. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Next, we have an update from Council Members Reinhardt and Kring on the Mission Magazine editorial board.
So yeah, we met yesterday, which has been our first one of the year. So exciting to kind of get together and chat about all the fun happenings. So we'll be uploading the next issue next week with estimated delivery of April 10th. And this issue is kind of a focus on who we are currently. The next issue is going to be kind of focused on who we were then in the past, kind of looking back, which I'm excited to see some new historical, well, new to me, I guess, historical photos come out of that, and how we might kind of tackle the long, lovely history of Mission. Yeah, anything else, Debbie? Feel free.
We talked a little bit about the 75th anniversary and some activities planned and events going forward. How proud people are. There's so many people who live in this community that were here from the very beginning. And so their input will be real interesting to me to find out, where they see the city going and the vision for the future in concert with the memories from the past.
Great. Next, Councilmember Schmidt, will you provide an update on the Family Adoption Committee?
The Family Adoption Committee has not met since the last council meeting, so I have no update to provide.
Let's see, for my report this evening, we do have reappointments to consider for the Board of Zoning Appeals. So tonight I put before you the reappointments of Mike Lee, Stuart Braden, Aaron Wingert, and Robin Duclos for the Board of Zoning Appeals with terms expiring March 31st, 2029. Is there a motion?
Mayor, I move the city council uphold the reappointments of Mike Lee, Stuart Braden, Aaron Wingert, and Robin Duclos to the Board of Zoning Appeals with terms expiring March 31st, 2029.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion on this item? Seeing none, Justin, please call the roll.
Kring.
Aye.
Reinhardt.
Aye.
Camosa.
Aye.
Hayden Chomposi.
Aye.
Schmidt.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you. Let's see, Laura, do you have any items you would like to share with the council tonight?
I think Mr. Carroll has a quick comment or two on the interim financials, and then I just have one more thing to share.
All right. So for the February interim financial report, still a little too early to really start taking any real takeaways or trends, so to speak, from this. Although on the expenditure side, if you look, we probably need to watch out for that legislative department. They seem to be spending quite a bit. No, I'm kidding. That's the travel that you all have coming up. But yeah, just as again, I do note that, not to make any real big trend lines or anything, but with sales tax receipts, there's a 2-month lag in those receipts. So what this report's reflecting is the bulk of holiday spending. If you look at those numbers, you'll see they're way up. Use tax is way out of whack because we were still going through the refund process from last year, but even the regular sales tax is up. So again, not necessarily ready to put that in the bank yet, so to speak, in the budget, but the early signs are very good, and especially when you see those holiday sales numbers come in so high year over year. So that's all I got for the report for this month.
Great. Any questions for Justin? No, thank you, Justin. All right, we do.
The only other, I'm sorry, the only other thing I would add is that you may have noticed that the construction has started on the Mission Beverly project. And so the work that you're seeing now is water line relocation that's occurring, followed shortly thereafter by sanitary sewer relocation. But Brian informed me or stormwater, I'm sorry. And then Brian informed me that today they came in and we issued the building permit for that work. And we'll provide some updates in the future about sort of the staging and timing of the project. So we make sure we keep you updated as well as making sure we're keeping the neighbors and the general public updated on that. But exciting to see that project move forward after all the work we put in.
Great, thank you. Okay, we do have a need for an executive session tonight, so the governing body will adjourn to executive session for the allotted time. When that time has expired, the governing body will reconvene to do one of the following. 1, extend the time required for discussion and return to executive session, or 2, continue with our regular city council meeting. As a reminder to the public, the governing body may take no binding action in an executive session. I would entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move the city council recess to executive session in accordance with KSA 75-4319B2 for consultation with the city's attorney. Also attending the executive session will be City Administrator Laura Smith, City Attorney Dave Martin, and City Attorney Jacob Turner. The open meeting will resume in the council chambers at 8:12 p.m. in 30 minutes.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Justin, please call the roll.
Hayden Chompozy,
Aye.
Kring,
Aye.
Ryhard,
Aye.
Schmid,
Aye.
Camosa.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, it is 8:12 and the governing body has returned from executive session. Before we adjourn tonight, I want to share with the public that the video from this meeting will be available through a link on our website at missionks.org. There being no further business tonight, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.